Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. And today I want us to speak about what actually is a complete profile on Upwork. Most of you have tried to get their hands into Upwork, which you might know is the biggest marketplace for freelancers. Have been told time and again that a complete profile is the most important part in making sure that you land jobs. And this is my profile here, and basically I'm just going to take you around it and to actually now show you what a complete profile is. Excuse me. So basically, as you can see here, I have managed to become top rated, and I've also managed to be verified by Upwork, and this has been after a process. So most likely, if you're just beginning, you may not have this badge, and you may not have this badge over here for verified. But what you might have here, especially for new guys, is that you might be given another badge called Rising Talent, which is also equally important and will help you to land jobs. But anyway, if you do not have any of those, do not mind. First, complete your profile, and that will increase your chances a lot. And the first and most important thing is having a profile picture. Guys, do not use a fake profile picture. Do not use someone else's profile picture, and make sure it's your photo, and make sure that you're smiling and you look, lovely. Of course, it's subjective, and what might be lovely to you might not be lovely to others. Just try to give it your best. And as you can see, this is the original photo here. So perhaps I tried to smile, but I don't know if it worked. But I hope you get my point. Do not try to use a fake profile picture, and do not even try to use a graphic or something, because of course that shows that people cannot trust you. The next thing is excuse me, something that regards your title. When it comes to what you're actually doing, you want to look at your title very seriously. And one thing about your title is that you want it to be specific, but you do not want it to be so overly complicated. So you have to make sure that you tell people that your title is the first thing they see when they open your profile. So you make sure you tell people what you do within that just one line, but also don't complicate it or make it too long. In my case, I'm a card drafter, and I specifically use ArchiCAD. And as you can see, I've been able to capture that information, so that if someone, this is also about the algorithm for Upwork and the way it works. If you want to be able to if you want to be able to appear on some of these searches, when a client searches, for example, for my case, if it searches an architect, if it searches a card drafter, or if it searches an ArchiCAD Pro, I'm likely to appear in one of those searches. And basically, you've also got to try and think in those lines. If you've got a nice title, you also want to have a very nice description here. Also, before we go to the description, you can see I have a general profile, I have an architecture profile, and I have also another animation profile. So this is a feature that comes later on when you become top rated. This is a top rated feature, and you basically will be able to showcase your specific skills. So for now, you might just have your general profile, and that's what we want to make sure that you get it right. So another thing is the description, and that's what I was going to. You want also to optimize. You want to optimize your description for the Upwork algorithm. And what that basically means is that you've got to make sure that you use some keywords here. And I'm speaking as a card drafter. You've got to make sure that you use a lot of terms like card drafting, architectural design, AutoCAD and other softwares, and also go ahead and tell the client what you actually do. You list your skills here. And for my case, I've also we are going to look at this in detail sometime later, but basically you've also got to do a lot of work when it comes to your description. It is the first place your client lands when he's interested in you and you post that proposal and he likes you. This is the first place it's going to come. So you've got to make sure that you do something that's quite, of course there's no one size fits all, and everybody have got their tricks and tips and style and techniques, and this is what works for me, might not work for you. But among the major things that should make sure you do is describe what you do and describe how you go about doing what you do. If you look at mine here, I've been able to break down the process that once the client is ready to hire me, this is what I'll go through so that I can come up with the final work. And I hope it helps when they look at my profile, they can be able to trust me. The other thing is a video. You've got to, most people here will tell you that you need a video of you describing your skills. As for me personally, I do not actually have a video of myself, but what I have here is a video of me doing modeling, and I posted it on YouTube and then linked that link here to just show my clients what I actually do. And I hope of course it's just my own thinking, but I hope it helps with the landing jobs, when you have a video showing what you actually do. Most people will tell you that you actually need to go on camera yourself and say what a pleasure it is to meet your new client and what you're gonna do for them. But as I said earlier, there's no one size fits all, and for me this one has worked. Okay, so now we're going to continue forward and look at the next part of a complete profile. And when you're just starting out, you might not have many of these numbers here. For example, this is my hourly rate, this is my total earned, and all that kind of hours worked and jobs. You might not have these numbers, but what you might have is an hourly rate. Make sure that you set your rate very specifically. You do not want also to go so high as you start out. For example, for someone who's just starting out in card drafting, myself, I started with about $15 an hour, and it worked well for most of the time until when I started landing more jobs and I had to add these to increase my hourly rate so that I can of course make more, and that also means that people could trust me, and I also started providing more quality. The other thing you might not also have as you're starting out is a work history and a feedback. This one you will start accumulating once you have started working, but that should not be a hindrance. You should not be able to be worried about that because it will come over time. And mostly what you want to optimize is these first elements. And there's also another part down here called the portfolio section. This is where you showcase what you can actually do, and it's important that you have a solid portfolio of the jobs that you actually intend to do on Upwork. You've got to be very specific. Myself, I'm a drafter, I'm a modeler, and I'm a renderer. So as you can see, I have several portfolio projects relating to rendering, that kind of stuff, relating to drafting details, relating to architectural drawings, and for most of these are actually projects I have done here on Upwork. And if we go back to my work history, you can see, like for example, this particular porch design project I did, I have attached a portfolio item related to that. You might not have that to begin with, but just have a solid profile and a solid portfolio, and make sure that it's convincing. It's something that looks nice to look around and to to browse through. it will really inspire a lot of confidence with your client. Well, now we might just be able to look at how a portfolio looks from a client side. And as you can see, just a moment, as you can see, you describe what you actually did with the project, and what were the goals of the client, and what you were able to achieve, and did you achieve it satisfactorily. Of course, this also depends on your own particular taste and your own particular, but just make it, look convincing. And you also need to make it look like you offered some value to your client. What you want is to add several files that are related to your project, so that you can be actually able to showcase that you actually added value to your client. So the other part that includes a complete profile, that is important for a complete profile, is this skills section. And please do not overlook this skills section. This is partly to show your clients what you can do, and also partly for SEO, for the algorithm that Upwork operates with. So these are like keywords, and you've got to make sure that these keywords are optimized to help you be found on Upwork. So for example, my case, the most important one is usually raked, because that is what I work with, and Atlantis Studio, because that is what I use to render the projects I do in raked. And if I can be able to optimize my own, if a client comes and searches for someone who can be able to render his raked project in Atlantis, I'm most likely to appear somewhere around there. But you also want to input other related terms to your particular line of work. So for example, for me, it's a graphic design. Some people might have architectural projects in the graphics design section. There's also BIM, building information modeling, AutoCAD, which offers most of these. Most people like to use AutoCAD for these projects, as well as photography and all these others, which might lead up to somebody who ultimately wants an architecture project. So pay very close attention to the skills section, and make sure that you optimize it for the keywords that you want people to find you through with your profile. And then going forward is this test section. The most important thing about the test section is that if you do a test and fail, you don't have to show it. You can hide. For example, I did an Adobe Illustrator test and did not pass well. I don't have to show it on my profile. I can opt to hide it, and you only show those ones that you passed. For example, I did. So mostly on Upwork, you really want to do this English test, and you also want to do an Upwork readiness test. This just shows that you're ready to take on Upwork. And some people say that tests are not so important, and I'm also of that opinion. They are not what determines if you'll be able to get a job. But you should just make sure that you do some basic tests, like the Upwork readiness test and the English tests, depending on where you come from. I've been able to do both the US and the UK one, but depends. If you can be able to do both, the better. The other very good thing about the tests on Upwork is that if you fail a first time, you have another second chance after, I think, is it a few weeks. So for example, as you can see here, I failed the English tests a few times, but managed to finally be able to do it another time. So just take your time, do not rush, and have a few basic tests that you have done and you're good to do with this section. I do not have currently any certifications, and they have not been a hindrance, because mostly is not who has certified you, but what you can do with your certifications. So a portfolio, a solid portfolio, I'd say, is perhaps the most important thing when it comes to proving your expertise, rather than these certifications. I have just an employment history here. This is also not another very important element, but just pay attention because someone might land here. So I have been able to post a few positions I worked that are relevant to my card drafting and modeling profile, and these are just a few that I thought would be relevant into helping just solidify my prowess in this area. So that depends. You might not have any, but just try and do something around here to make sure that your profile is complete. The next section is education. Of course, there you have to say if you have any form of trading in the kind of area you operate, then it's best suited that you put it here. No hard and fast rules. No one is going to come and ask you, for certifications or for certificates or transcripts. So just go with what you have. I'd advise you to be truthful, but depends on what you want anyway. And then finally is this other experiences that might be related to, ultimately it should come down to something that is related to what you actually do, your title. So for example, me here, I know I'm a director at my own company where we design and implement projects. I just thought I'd put that in there. And guys, that is what a complete profile is on Upwork. And I hope this video has been helpful. And if it has been helpful, please do not forget to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up. And I very much appreciate. Thank you. See you.